What is up, everybody? Liam and Bert back for week 10 of some NFL pick action. How you doing today?
Good. Looks like 4 AFC East teams going to make the playoffs. Looks good.
People are trying to say that Josh Allen is hurt. They're trying to scare me, my friends.
Well, this is UCL or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
they're trying to say things like, "Oh, Tommy John." Quarterbacks don't get Tommy John. All right, we're gonna be
UCL
fine.
sounds like Umbrella Corporation. What is that?
That was a clear Vegas game. There was a phantom hold at the end.
Wait, so what? When you're saying Vegas game, you're saying they wanted the Jets.
I mean, I think the game was called fair all the way down. Last drive of the game, Bills 1st and 10. Like a 25-yard completion for last drive of the game. Hold. Show us the hold.
Wait, so what is the? But what is the
hold so bad they don't even show it?
What is the Vegas?
And now it's 1st and 20.
What is the Vegas part of that though? That weren't the Jets were already covering, and
I mean a lot of public money probably on Buffalo. Just a little gimme game. Bills aren't going to run the table. They're not going to have a perfect season anymore after that Miami game. So,
but weren't the Jets already covering?
Well, maybe Buffalo puts in the Buffalo straight up win. I bet the Buffalo wins on a bunch of parlays. But anyways, we'll take off the tinfoil hats, and
I was going to say I think I'm going to be a just an observer, and it's going to be co-hosted by you and D Weiss CR, whoever the Jets fan is in the chat.
No. In all reality, tough loss by Buffalo, but we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, here he is, D Weiss CR. It's just Cope, Bert. You want me to call you Cope? Is that okay? I could do that.
So some would say no. He's saying that I'm coping. Some would say that Buffalo or I, after another losing week 4 and 6, but I held serve against you, so I view this as a peer versus peer. 4 and 6 type of week.
Well, no, it's the win.
Terrible week by us. So let's talk about.
Let's talk about. It's a win probability, and you were here, but now we're coming at each other, and it's going to change now.
Yeah, I mean, I came out hot. Almost impressive to have this bad of a. I mean,
many pushes too, and
if you listen to our show, we did say Seattle was this was the wrong type of line.
Yes,
the Baltimore one was the other one we felt good about a lot.
Yeah, those were
unbelievable that Malik Willis and the Titans cover. Malik Willis did nothing.
I don't think it's that crazy, man. They play them close every time.
And that Titan team got thrashed by Buffalo 40-12.
It has very little to do with quarterback play when they play each other. It's the Titans, for whatever reason, have them well schemed.
Jacksonville, nice little W by me there. But yeah,
that was crazy because I looked at the ticker. It's 17-0. I'm like, okay, that's gonna go my way, and then all of a sudden they're losing that game. So
yeah, I did see that. So yeah, tough loss for the Buffalo. New England.
That was a crazy.
I mean, Indy fired everyone after this game. So
1.9 yards per play. Have you ever seen that?
It was. Hey, did you? So they got Jeff Saturday calling plays, and some dude who
unbelievable.
Dude who looks like he's out of a local high school or something.
Have you seen? I mean, this would be like if Carolina had fired Matt Rule and hired Steve Smith or Greg Olson. This is a guy that is basically coming out of the booth and it's just so obvious what they're doing, which is they want people to buy tickets to a bad team because there are guys that are fan favorites on the sideline.
Sure, Adam Schefter or someone tweeted this out.
Right? And then there's that outstanding quote by Jim Irsay, top quartile of the top quartile, which is also not even true.
I can't find it right now, but the guy
because the top quartile of the top quartile would be the best team in the league because you'd be or no, top 2 teams in the league. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, insane. I will say to the viewers, if you want to oppo bet me until I prove I'm on a heater, go ahead. But I feel good about this week. Back against the wall. I'm here to pick some winners. Any other games you want to touch on here? Minnesota is disappointing.
Loved Justin Jefferson's sunglasses in warmups. The Spy Kids 3D sunglasses.
That was sick. Seattle, very real.
Carolina, we couldn't have been more wrong about, obviously.
Yeah, that looks bad. And I felt bad about that as I was I didn't feel good about this one. It's just like an easy
Green Bay dead. Like they're officially dead. I kind of had them as a team that was maybe primed to start making a push because this kind of seems like where they are.
We got to talk about the Brady drive too, I guess.
Good incredible. Yeah, 100,000 yards. I mean, the guy is what a week.
Well, he had a game-winning drive though that kind of kept their season alive.
44 seconds left, and now they're first in the division. But then the
Rams let that one get away.
Yeah, and I mean, did you watch it?
No.
Well, I mean, it was just one of those. It's one of those losses that they left the cameras kind of hanging around for a while, and the play. it was like they lost the Super Bowl. The players were so devastated, because I think they just were so in control. It felt like the entire game, and now their season is probably over. So yeah, pretty awesome Brady moment for him. But
I would say this Miami-Chicago game, these are the worst losses where, if you have Miami -4, Miami's up 10, cruising, and just garbage time Fields.
Yeah, but it's also Justin Fields. What he broke.
We got to talk about Fields
rushing record.
Top quarterback in the league. Also, the Patriots had a chance to get him, didn't they? And they passed on him.
No, Chicago traded up to get him at 10.
Yeah, but New England sat pat at 15, so you could have traded up.
Yeah, we could have. You could say that about any team could trade up to.
I don't know. Anyways, what do you think about Fields? Star or?
I was saying this last week is that I think he's really come on here in the last few weeks.
So I thought about the trade some more. I think the Chase Claypool trade is big, and then the Tony one. It's just the Tony trade and the Tony barely played, but I'm excited about him. Miami, very good. Nothing else really to say about these games.
The Chargers Atlanta game, how that one ended was
they were both trying to do.
Well, did you see the fumble recovery and then the guys running back? That had shades of Leon Lett. The game is over, go down, and instead he is running.
No, man, I don't think the Vikings are a good team.
Oh yeah, wait, we got to talk about Kirk and the chains.
Oh, Kirk and the chain. Kirk looks good. We'll pull up Kirk.
If they are, that might be the image that we are looking at being oh, this team was primed to make a run and all of his teammates going crazy for it. He may be a little bit he's nerdy, but we might not give him credit for how cool he is.
No, I'm sure people like him.
Here's
the thing: is the Vikings.
The tinfoil on the grill is really when his image.
Clearly, every teammate gave him their chains and was like, "This will be funny." So it's really the locker room is funny, not Kirk. Kirk's just the puppet.
Dude, he has to be
he has to say okay to it.
And look at the dancing that. He is very aware. To me, this is that's unfair to say that he's not part of how awesome that is.
So here's the deal with the Vikings, though. The Vikings opened up as 9.5-point dogs to Buffalo, and then now it's dropped because there's speculation about Josh Allen. But
I think it's really more that people have started to believe in the Vikings a little bit.
No, it's
because the Vikings have been the most disrespected 7-1 team probably of all.
They're 7-1, but the point I'm trying to make is. There are good teams in the NFL, which there's only a couple.
This is every conversation with Liam, by the way. I think it could be this. No, it's because everybody hates the Bills. It's because the league hates the Bills.
No one's saying anything. What I'm saying about whether the Vikings are a good team, if you can hear this out, Bertrand, is there are good teams in the NFL, which the Vikings fall into, and then there are great teams in the NFL, which there are 3 great teams in the league, and they are so much better than the good teams that the good teams don't stand a chance. Like, I would put who are the good teams in the NFL? Probably
Well, I mean,
I
we
don't
were saying how top heavy it is last week. I mean,
Vikings, Patriots. Like, Patriots are a sneaky good team, but like the great teams,
that's
Eagles,
shocking to hear you say.
Eagles, Bills, like Chargers are
I think it's
maybe
Eagles, Cowboys. I mean, this is in no particular order. So it's Eagles, Bills are obviously the top 2 teams in the league.
no, and the Chiefs. Like those 3 are, but those 3 are
Cowboys
all
too. I
like
think you gotta have the Cowboys in there.
those against the Vikings. All those teams would be 9-point or higher favorites. That's right. Like it's just like Kirk Cousins can't do what those quarterbacks can do. So TJ Hawkinson, I like it. He got used a lot.
You're reading
Hilarious
this.
DUIs. Just some trolls.
I
to the
could tell by the
Like-
gap that you were reading that long comment.
All right, yeah. I mean, the Bills' run defense, they got to search their soul there, but they'll get it. All right, an exciting Thursday night game. Let's jump into it. Oh, what do you think about my point there? That where I was saying there's the good teams. Like, who are and my point that the great teams are just that much better than the good teams.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this last week, and for people that weren't watching last week, is that I feel that the league is the
I'm
most.
sure everyone has seen every single episode since we launched week 3.
I feel that the league is the most top heavy that it has been. I don't know, in a long time.
Like, are the Ravens a good team or are they a great team? They're probably a good team.
Yeah, but they may be figuring something out here.
Good to great. They're better than the Vikings.
I think that there's
right?
I think there's 4 teams, and I think there might be 5 teams if you count Miami. But it's I think it's the Bills, the Chiefs.
A new segment for Bert and Liam called the top 5 teams in the NFL.
Contenders and Pretenders is the more popular name for it.
Well,
on every
I
other
just
show you
named it
watch.
up on the spot. So, Bert, who is your number 1 team in the NFL?
The Bills. I think that's they're the obvious favorites. I think the only thing that is kind
really
of
not stressed about the loss last week.
No, I mean
I'm not either.
I don't. It's. I think where we're at right now is people were kind of crowning them this kind of 85 Bears generational team, and I'm not saying that they're not that, but it's starting to trend away from that. And that's fine. I mean, but they're still the Super Bowl favorite in my mind. Like,
yeah, if Josh is healthy, we are fine. Number 2, I think it's a discussion between the Eagles and the Chiefs. And for me, it's like a question of
Eagles, where's the Cowboys for you, man? How
they're
are they
not 2. It's the Eagles.
I mean, the Cowboys played the Eagles close without Dak.
Their defense is great.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
but it's like, if you ask me if I'm more afraid of Dak plus CeeDee
Mike McCarthy
Lamb
too. It's Mike McCarthy as well.
Am I more afraid of Dak and CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard, or am I more afraid of Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown?
We also got to consider the Niners too. I mean, their record.
Hey, we're making a top 5 list, man.
I think just because the Eagles
and this is, I would say, teams that could win the Super Bowl.
I think just because the Eagles are 8-0, we have to put that respect on their name. So I would put them 2 as well.
All right, number 3 opens it up for me. I'm talking. This list is for teams I would not want to face in the playoffs, and I didn't think their offense was that impressive. I truly believe the Kadarius Toney trade will make a difference. So I know they've been disappointing. I think their defense will be fine.
I like Dallas here.
The Chiefs.
The 3rd team.
Don't you just see like Patrick Mahomes putting up like 400 yards on that Dallas D?
No. I could see. Well, I mean, of course, I can see Patrick Mahomes doing that to any team in the league. But I mean, for me, I could totally see Micah Parsons just completely ruining his day, and having like 4 sacks or.
Dallas is a complete team. I'll give that. All right, who's your 4?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to respect KC, even if they have been a little lukewarm. But it feels like people say that about KC, every year. Like, oh, they're not as impressive as we expected. And then by the time the playoffs roll around, they're a wagon.
The 4 spot for me comes down to a couple teams. It could be Miami. It could be Dallas. It could be, like the Vikings are a complete team. Their quarterback is not as impressive. It could be the Ravens. It could be the Bengals, assuming Jamar Chase is healthy. I think I'm going to go with
Niners too are pretty good.
I think I'm going to go with Miami just because I truly think that Tyreek makes so much of a difference that he could just beat Dallas by himself.
Yeah. I mean, they're my 5th team, so I have them. It's just a question of, I mean.
Yeah, and I'll put Dallas here.
It's so hard to say what Miami actually is, I mean,
their defense is not that good.
Yeah, but then they traded for Melvin Ingram,
but the Tyreek and Waddle combo is just very good, and 2 is fine. But after the top 3, and to me, it's the Chiefs. I put a lot of teams in the same it's tier break for me, and then it goes.
But would you have the Chiefs at 3 if it wasn't for 4 AFC championships in a row like that?
It only has to do with I know how good that Bills defense is, and the way Pat Mahomes did it, he did it in the air, man. So it's strictly Mahomes. It's just that it doesn't matter how good your team is.
How was New York scoring against you guys?
That was a combo of
what were they? How were
of
they?
Of course,
scoring?
there was a turnover or 2 that was kind of fluky.
And it's clear that
it was screens on the ground. It was running in.
Really, what should have happened?
We missed a field goal.
Something happened. I saw at the beginning that there was that awful kick by New York, and then the Bills came out and immediately threw a pick. That's usually a terrible sign that you're gonna have a bad day if you can't take that first kind of gimme possession and come out and be ready to go.
It was a type of game where this isn't in order, by the way, but all these teams are in the same tier to me. But anyways, it was a type of game Josh is clearly trying to prove things in the air.
Well, he was losing his mind, it seemed like.
Against,
I mean, not
I think him and the team are hey, we're facing a good defense. Let's we might not want to do it on the ground in December. Let's just do it in the air. And sometimes it's a high variance league. You're going to lose sometimes doing that. And some things did not bounce their way. So anyways, we'll check in on the top 5 teams later. Let's jump into this week. It's been too long. We got the rematch, the Falcons at the Panthers. Bert, take it away.
I mean, this is a tough game because I think that Atlanta may be on they may have peaked and it may be downhill for them now. But I'm going to take them over Carolina here because I think that, Carolina has now gone away from Baker, come back to Baker. It is not a situation.
They already said that PJ Walker is playing.
Yeah, I know, but they benched him for Baker in the game.
No, I know. And Baker,
so now they've now switched quarterbacks 4 times in the last 3 weeks or something. So never a good sign. I hate it when the Patriots did it against Chicago, and I'm gonna keep that stance and take Atlanta -3 here.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta too. I mean, nothing on the Panthers is a fun.
I'm terrible on Thursday night though.
I mean, in some senses, Atlanta or Carolina makes sense, but it's their defense is good. Both these teams are bad. Just take the team with the points. It's at home. But I don't want to root for the Panthers at all. So give me Marcus Mariota. I like a league where Marcus Mariota, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Cordero Patterson are dicing the league up. Cordero Patterson is fun. It would be fun if they did some shit in the air. Mariota could be fun. Give me the Falcons. I want them to win that division and then go beat like the Vikings or something in the playoffs. That's good fun. Seattle at Tampa. Seattle 2.5, getting 2.5 against the Bucks. I'm going to take the Seahawks. I don't know how you bet against the Seahawks here. They have done everything right. Everything about their roster has exceeded expectations. They are facing a team that has done nothing but disappoint. Is this game in London, the last London game?
I think it's Germany.
Oh, no, it's Germany. It's the first German game.
Yeah.
So give me Seattle in Germany.
Bayern Munich.
People don't know that Germany has a huge Seattle fan base.
Let me ask, how many international superstars are on the Seattle Seahawks?
DK Metcalf is definitely
international.
Geno Smith, international.
There is no way that the NFL is sending Tom Brady overseas like as their like marquee product and letting him lose this game.
Maybe Tom doesn't. Maybe Tom doesn't leave. Maybe he stays.
There's just, and I'm not, not NFL rigged or anything like that. Which was a funny story.
Hey, that's how we started this our show.
I said on Sunday. I said on our group chat, the game was postponed for like a broken cable, and I said, "Oh, it's NFL rigged because the Jets are gaining steam." Liam did not like that. But I mean, I like Tampa Bay here. I think that
you're talking about the game.
I think that is that drive that they. When you look at Tampa Bay, they have been a streaky team for the entire time. Even when they had Jameis, they were streaky. Now you consider that they have this hugely unifying moment of that 44-second drive. Brady really kind of coming up fired up. And the fact that it's the biggest name in the league going to Germany. They want him to do well, and I could totally see him, getting some calls here as well. So I'm taking Tampa -2.5 here.
How do you feel that they're going to bench Leonard Fournette and that Rachaad White may become the RB1 there?
I don't know, man. It's whatever. Like, is he the secret to their success?
Seattle, man. Ken Walker is going to establish the run against the Bucks, a team that's hard to run against. And
I'm not saying Seattle isn't a better team. Seeing Tampa come through in
this
that
game
moment
matters for NFC standings later too.
Yeah.
Houston at Giants. Take it away.
I mean, this is a tough one too because last week they were double-digit underdogs to Philly, barely covered, and then New York.
That defense is better than people think.
We don't really know what they are. They're obviously they're 6-2, I think. And so I think they're a playoff team, but I do think that they're a team they're going to get in the playoffs just based off their record. They could win 3 more games and probably get in. So I kind of like them to stumble to the finish line. They will win this game, but they win ugly. So I think Houston +6.5. That's a big line.
This game comes down to Brian Daboll off of the bye. He got rid of Kadarius Toney. There's no question anymore. This is the wide receiver crew we're working with. Wan'Dale Robinson got a chance to get healthy. If I was just looking at these two teams and I said, talent-wise, what should the line be? It shouldn't be 6.5. Houston, it has good defenders, but I'm going to take the Giants just because I think the Giants off the bye are going to have like a lot of scripted plays to begin, and it's going to go well. The team probably didn't get crazy in the bye, and they were like, look, we're 6-2, but we got to stay humble. There's a lot of good teams, blah, 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 whatever. And so I think that they're good. They're going to be well coached, and they'll probably get like a pick or two and some easy touchdowns to Saquon that way. And so give me the Giants -6.5. That's a field bet right there. That's a veteran bet. You're looking at the math, you take the Texans. You feel bet.
What have you been betting on? Like, what are your normal bets if they're not by feel? How you feel?
Well, sometimes you're locked into the matrix, sometimes you're not, and I'm feeling locked right now. That was a locked bet.
I just like if you're not, do you normally not bet how you feel about the games, or
Well,
is it
you never know what state you're in. You know, you got to roll the dice
you
and
don't know
see.
what state you're in all the time?
Hey, transient better. I know I'm in a good state for this next game, which is the
Am I in
Vikings.
the metaverse right now?
The Vikings at the Bills, where they seems far away currently. The Vikings at the Bills. The Bills.
This one to me is very obvious.
I think this game opened at -9.5, and now it's at -5.5, and that's
I
purely
would love to get. No, I don't know.
so I got lucky that we got to take this because I would have taken Buffalo anyways. But
You don't say.
basically, this is all speculation about Josh Allen's injury. Let me tell you what happened after this so-called injury. The man from the 10-yard line threw like a 75-yard dart that hit Gabriel Davis in the chest against Sauce Gardner, and Gabriel Davis dropped it. So after
And pushed off.
After this injury, supposedly, Josh Allen hits a guy 75 yards down the field in the chest. Buffalo -5.5 is a gift, people. This is a free gift that you want to take early. You want to take early because if Josh is ruled in, this goes back up.
Because I think what probably, I mean, you're using anecdotal evidence yourself by going with that play. What people are probably going off is the fact that he was rubbing his elbow after the play before it.
Yes, and there's
I
reports
think
that
you
he
are
has the UCL.
crazy to take Minnesota in this spot. Minnesota just came off a amazing win to get them to 7-1. Kirk Cousins is on the plane
against the Commanders
in chains. Yeah, but that's his old team, so they probably wanted to win for him and stuff like that. Like that's important to franchise in the NFL. He's doing the you like that. That is probably going to be Minnesota Vikings' favorite or fans' favorite win of the season. And the team too. They are in such a letdown spot, and the Bills are in such a like put up or shut up spot that
and the way that Buffalo does win is how the Vikings struggle.
Like I'm not going to rank this team number 1 and then not pick them to absolutely shell Minnesota here. So yeah, I mean Buffalo -1.5. I think 5.5. I think you are crazy not to take this line. This is
yeah. I mean, there's been a couple points since I've been paying attention to lines where I had a line that I was like, oh, this line's wrong, like really wrong. One that is in recent memory is the second time the Patriots and the Bills played each other after the windstorm game. The Patriots were like 3-point favorites against the Bills last year. And I was like, oh my God, this is the worst line I've ever seen in my life. And obviously when it's not a windstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that New England -5.5 was the most obvious line of all time last week, and you took Indy. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well,
it's a.
I thought the coaching staff was here to stay. Sometimes you're not in tune with these fringier teams. But what I'm saying is, sometimes the lines are obvious.
If the word Sam Ehlinger,
like once or twice a year, but Buffalo -5.5, it's a freebie.
If the words Sam Ehlinger coming out party or Sam Ehlinger show ever came out of your mouth, please raise your hand.
I mean, with Jeff Saturday, is he going to ride with him?
Dude, this is what I was saying earlier is it's like if the Panthers had hired after they fired Matt Rule, it'd be like if they hired Steve Smith or Greg Olson. Like he's a guy that was pulled out of the booth as like a fan favorite player. And it'd be like,
this guy was like on TV a week ago.
Steve Smith has like the quarterback calling audibles.
Did you see that Dan?
Ice up, son.
Did you see that Dan Olvarsky or whatever is like in talks with Jeff to be the OC?
It is an absurd story. I have never really seen it in the NFL that we are just so in such free fall that we are gonna if they probably reached out to McAfee, and he probably was like, "No, I'm good with
Jim Irsay, come on back."
They're just picking fan favorites, asking them to buy tickets for a.
You don't think Peyton would call season? I think he would. All right. Jacksonville.
It's unbelievable that that guy's going to be on the sidelines.
Jacksonville versus the Chiefs, man. What do you see? This is an interesting line to me.
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville just had a great win. KC coming off the bye, correct?
No, KC played the Chiefs.
Oh, they played the
Titans.
Chiefs. Or they played the Titans last
Yeah.
night. Yeah, sorry. So they won in overtime. I think they really fucking put it on them this week. I like the Bills and the Chiefs and kind of resetting what we know is true in the NFL, which is which teams are good, which teams are not. And I think both the Bills, both the Chiefs are going to put it on their inferior opponent this week.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 5.5 is different than 9.5.
Well,
Also-
I mean, the Vikings deserve a smaller line. They're 7-1.
Yes, they do. But I mean, with Jacksonville, the real question for this line is Jacksonville going to turn the ball over? And can Travis Etienne keep doing his thing and keep churning yards and keep churning first downs? And Trevor Lawrence be serviceable?
I don't even think, but like that's more of like they could have a great statistical game. I think you're looking at it in the fourth quarter and the Chiefs are all of a sudden going up 17 and we're all like,
I mean, yeah, like it either needs to be like a 40-20 game or it's going to be closer to like 23-30.
Like, are you surprised at all if in like the first 7 minutes of this game the Chiefs are up 14-0? I mean,
I'm not, but also, like the Jaguars have pieces.
Did you hear that Doug Peterson became the 5th winningest coach in Jackson?
That's funny. I mean, the Jaguars also have some pieces on defense. So I don't know, man. I think Kadarius Toney will make a difference. So I was thinking about Jacksonville. I'm thinking about the Chiefs. This is like not one I feel good about, honestly. I guess
I feel better about this one than I do the Buffalo game. I mean, this is pretty obvious.
Fuck it. I'm rolling with Jacksonville. That was my first instinct. We're sticking
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm a little worried about Kadarius Toney. I'm not gonna lie. This could be like his breakout game, and so that would suck. But against like man defense, but if not, we're surviving. All right, Cleveland at Miami.
It's you.
Cleveland at Miami is me. Okay, so this line is suspicious, obviously, but what they're saying is that Cleveland and Nick Chubb off the bye can like move the ball and play ball control. But Miami at home -3.5. Give me Miami -3.5. Like if Tyreek and Waddle don't have like 400 yards this game, I'd be surprised.
Well, yeah, I mean it's one of those things that like Cleveland is designed to win games where there's very few possessions. There's they can control the tempo of the game, keep the offense off the field by keeping their offense on the field. And Miami is like, we're going to score in 45 seconds and that's it. So, and I think that Miami is much more capable of controlling the tempo than Cleveland. And I also think Mike McDaniel is a better head coach than whatever iteration is in Cleveland right now. Is it what's his fucking name? Zach.
I mean, you got to be so brave to take Cleveland +3.5.
So yeah,
I'm not that brave.
Miami
not
just
brave enough to take
so
Cleveland
blatantly
+3.5.
the better team. So yeah, Miami here.
Cleveland will instantly be one of the better teams, though, if Deshaun is allowed to play.
Totally.
Detroit at the Bears, another suspicious line. You're up. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit is. I mean, Dan Campbell is saying he needs a beer after a 6-point win against a team that already seems dead. Chicago is on the up. Detroit seems to have kind of picked off a team that is really done. And I think Chicago takes care of business here. -2.5, small line, and at home they're gonna finish this. Not to mention they play in that really long grass on Soldier Field, and their running attack with Justin Fields. I take over that Detroit running attack. which I know is good as well. But I just think that
Well, what you think the long grass helps the running game?
well, that's what they say is that like you play on the long grass and you're supposed to hand the ball off a lot more. That's why like Chicago has been like a running team for their entire existence.
Well, that's kind of funny because Detroit has the best O-line in the league, and DeAndre Swift has not been healthy. He's like playing barely at all. Jamal Williams is fine, but like if DeAndre Swift is back this game and it's like establish the run game, like first instinct is how does Justin Fields not run for like at least 150 yards this game against Detroit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy.
Like I just, but the only way they have a chance is basically Detroit has literally the best O-line in the league, one of them, and they have two great running backs. But I'm just not that brave, man. I'm taking the Bears -2.5 because it takes the Lions to run the ball, and they can do it. But it's like if this game gets into a shootout behavior.
Shootout behavior.
Then Jared Goff, you just don't love.
Is this game shootout adjacent?
It is a little bit on the ground, but like long runs. All right, Denver getting points at the Titans. I'm going to take Denver.
Is that surprising?
Oh, okay. I don't think it is, but I'm going to take Denver because what Denver does well is they play defense well, and they also. They're a little weaker against the run.
This is crazy to me that you're going this way.
I'm taking Denver in the points because what Denver does well is they play defense, and also their passing game is like Cortland Sutton should get it going against the Titans. So whatever. Titans have a lot of momentum going for them. They might not even have Tannehill, and if it's Malik Willis, it's like he's a disaster currently. So.
I don't think quarterback matters for them.
Like, it so matters if it's Tanny. If Malik has to play this game,
does it? They just took the Chiefs to overtime. I mean,
I know, but if they have to this game, it will matter, and Denver will.
I think that Tennessee is so much better than we probably gave them credit for at the beginning of the season, and probably deserved credit for because we. They were a 1 seed last year, AFC Championship the year before that. I think
seeing these games differently, man.
And then you have Denver, who is shedding parts, like giving up on this season, punting.
Okay, yeah, it does suck that they got rid of Bradley Chubb.
And Denver is they've punted on the season. They're trying to move on to next year, and Tennessee is firmly planted in trying to win the AFC South. I think this is a very obvious Tennessee line. And I think Tennessee is going to get these small lines for the rest of the year. And I think if you bet them for the rest of the year, you're probably going to have a winning record. And it starts here, and it starts in these like gimme games right here that don't make any sense. So I'm taking Tennessee -3.
Yeah, I like Denver. All right. The only chance is like if Derrick Henry runs for like 250 yards, which he can do.
That's not the only chance.
He's a freak.
It
is. Like it really is.
This is like
or like a bunch of defensive fluky stuff.
The Chiefs' only chance against the Bills is if there's muff punts.
I don't know, man. Like, what's impressive about the Titans? Name one thing.
I just think that they're like, and you're gonna laugh at this because you do the Excel documents and all that stuff. Not that those aren't
Excel docs. What does that even mean?
Or just you're so
crunching your numbers over there.
So into the analytics, and like you don't like Vrabel. I know that for a fact. I think that their presence in the moment and their ability to like have wherewithal in the season and continue to try and make the playoffs versus a bozo like Nathaniel Hackett, who is so focused in on the.
I'll give you. Coach is better.
Cheesecake Factory menu, play sheet that he has on the sidelines. Like, I just think that I like Tennessee so much more in the spot. They are winners, and Denver is losing.
What do you think the line should be?
It should. -3 is probably right, but
Okay, so you don't like him that much. And I think and I'm just
but most NFL lines are -3.
You have to understand when a little bit of public sentiment is baked into a line. No one likes Denver. No one likes Russ. No one likes Denver at all. They're at this point they've been left for dead.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
And they're not in the same
my
shoes.
take that Carolina is better than Denver, that is aging like a fine wine.
That is an idiotic take.
No, I think that is
What happened to Carolina
gotten
last
better
week
and better
never
for-
happes to Denver.
Denver is it.
Denver
They're
has
the
like a
same
bunch
team.
of
They're the same team. If Nathaniel Hackett was a third-year coach, he would be fired in this at the same time frame that Matt Rule was this year. Their quarterbacks.
Denver has not been blown out of a single game. They have a bunch of close losses.
Oh God, this is loser talk.
I mean, the Panthers have been blown out. You're just being ridiculous here.
The Panthers beat Tampa Bay this year.
Yeah,
wide margin.
Vaunted Tampa Bay. Tampa
I'm
Bay
just-
is.
but like I don't think
Tampa Bay is
Denver
like a
beats
bottom 17
Tampa.
team.
No, I mean maybe, but yeah, we'll see. I think Tennessee.
The Panthers.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see next week. We're gonna be on here. We're not gonna remember how combative we were here, but we'll see. I mean, we're gonna have to play this back, I guess, at some point.
I'm looking this up right now. The Panthers have blowout losses to several teams. Let's see. They lost to.
Well, they got blown out this weekend.
They lost to the Cardinals by 10. They lost to the
That's not a
49ers.
blowout. Come on.
They lost to the 49ers by 22, a week which you picked.
That was the week. That was the week that they fired the coach.
They lost to the Rams by 14. That was the week after they fired the coach. They lost to the Bengals by 21. So 2 blowout losses. The Broncos don't have a single blowout
more
loss.
than 21, didn't they?
No, they lost more
like
in
42 to 4. Wasn't it?
They lost more in that
14?
49ers game than the Denver game.
Wasn't it 42 to 14?
It's 42-21, I think.
No, I think it was 42-14.
I think I just looked at it.
Unless they had like a really garbage time touchdown.
Happens all the time, yeah. 42-21, making me look it up again, slowing us down.
Okay.
All right, well, Bert rides with the Panthers, but we're moving on to another. Honestly, I think
I'm actually riding with Atlanta this week, which is the funny part. But I would take Atlanta over Denver.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, Panther, like the clearest taking team ever, who is literally dodging.
Well, your take committed. You were saying they were throwing the game last week, which made no sense.
They were.
Liam, they threw a touchdown pass on the last play of the game to send it to overtime.
Because you can't.
Oh my god, this is Galaxy brain.
How you massage a roster? All right,
this is Galaxy brain.
I've been watching Survivor. That's my next plan. I think I could get on there, maybe win if I get on.
Just $1 million competition.
Yeah. Anyways, Saints at Pitt. Let's see whose turn is it to go first. It is mine. This line doesn't make any sense to me. Give me Saints minus 2.5. I know they're not impressive, and I know the Steelers are off the bye, but I mean, Pitt, they have to be a little worse. Pitt trading away Claypool. They're only getting 2.5, so give me the Saints. I know that they put Jameis back out there or Taysom or fucking something.
This is just fucking public money. Pittsburgh has such a huge fan base that so much money pours into them every week that it has made this line this small, which you have to always consider with Pittsburgh. That's why they have so many.
Birch Market Report coming up at 9.
I'm just like, you have to always consider that with Pittsburgh. And I mean, this is a year that I think if you bet against Pittsburgh, you're probably doing fucking awesome for yourself because they are so bad and they have so many fans that bet on them. Like the Jersey Jerry types, if whoever's familiar with him, not to promote another show, but he is
sorry, dude, you got big contract issues.
He is a hilarious individual, but there are guys that are just going to put significant amounts of their paycheck on the Pittsburgh Steelers because they've been doing it for a long time. New Orleans is a very obvious minus 2.5 here.
All right. In lockstep on that one, take us away on Colts Raiders.
I mean, I don't know. This is another like hard game of the week. Part of you wants to take Indy for the for the interim coach boost, but they have just done nothing that makes sense in the last 48 hours. And not like Vegas is the gold standard or anything, but to bet on them just seems. I mean, I'm expecting them to come out and have a host of issues. Like the idea that Jeff Saturday is going to manage an NFL game, not have like multiple delay of games, not have like all these things go wrong, screw up challenges. Like he's probably going to be throwing challenge flags on penalties or things that can't even be challenged. I mean,
That's not gonna happen.
it totally will. You don't think that Jeff Saturday will be like, ooh, offensive line holding challenge? Like, he's a former center. Like, this thing is going to be a unmitigated disaster for Indy. Vegas, very obvious pick for me, I think.
Yeah, so I would say from the top down, it looks bad. You know, you got Jeff Saturday, you got this
The
guy.
top quartile of the top quartile. That stuff. I mean,
you got Jim Irsay, who's really calling the shots in Indy. He's like on
Jerry
his
Jones style.
He's on his fucking like opiate high, and he's like come down. He's like,
hey, we don't make fun of addiction on this show. If you got issues, you go get them taken care of. You too, Jim.
Okay, we're relaxed now. Anyway, so Jim Irsay,
that was a joke, dude.
Jim Irsay's coming on down, and you know the Jeff Saturday part looks a little bad. However, Jeff Saturday, motivator of men. Also, his offensive coordinator, although he looks like a clown, he's got some thing about him where he's like, I don't know, passing game. Like he's like a Madden guy, passing game guy, who I want to believe in. So
I think if you think that Jeff Saturday is
not running
that's
the
ball,
only thing, but like it's not enough for me. I'm not brave enough to do it.
He's gonna run the ball so freaking.
I'm gonna take Las Vegas -6.5 as well.
Oh, okay.
I mean, does Indy bring Matt Ryan back though? Like, I don't know.
He wasn't even in pads on Sunday. I think
Las Vegas like finding a way to lose last week. Again, I said it last week. Las Vegas players have probably quit on that team. Like they're not playing for the playoffs.
Well, they're
not.
The statistic that what's his name?
What the fuck is this line?
McDaniels is like 5-30 without those like first 6 wins that they were cheating in. That's a bad look, man. But at least he is a true NFL coach.
Yeah, the game. Yeah, I did see that.
If they lose this game,
he's gonna get fired.
Yeah,
right?
if they lose this game, and I was an owner, you have to fire him. And that's maybe it's an overreaction. We are fans. We overreact.
Oh my god, he'll just be a laughing stock,
dude. If you lose to Jeff Saturday, who was,
I think it's gonna happen. Honestly, like
who
I'm
was
on
for that. Get Up. And did you see that Jeff Saturday tweeted something like just a couple weeks ago, like Vegas complete fucking disaster or something?
Jeff Saturday's gonna win this game, man.
If they win this game, dude, you have to fire McDaniels. And I mean, that'd probably be good because maybe then he comes back to New England. And we don't have to deal with Joe Judge.
Oh my god, another laughing stock. Anyways, the next one,
Matt Patricia.
I really don't think there's too much to say on this one. It doesn't make any sense at all. Dallas -5, one of the best defenses in the league. Green Bay will try to keep it on the ground. They have injury issues. Like, what is this line? Dallas -5 off the bye.
I mean,
the only thing that makes sense is that Dallas on the bye, all the players, like, I don't know, passed away. Like they did something crazy. Like they all have got COVID on the break, and Vegas knows that. Anything else?
Maybe they were in Vegas.
The only thing, like nothing else makes sense. So Dallas -5 lock. Off the bye.
I mean, what you want to say on this line at first is that it's that kind of thing with Pittsburgh where there's just a ton of public money that rolls into Green Bay. But the only team that has more public money roll into it is freaking Dallas. So
yeah, Dallas is America's team,
that should
man.
Counteract it. Like Dallas should have a huge line here. Green Bay is done. and Dallas is coming on here. So yeah, Dallas very obvious here to me.
Yeah,
Minus
obvious.
5.
Walk us into the next one. 3 more left here. Arizona at the Rams. Arizona.
I mean, 2
+3.
teams that seem to not have it figured out whatsoever. LA just being so dejected last week is the only thing that has me a little nervous on this one, which, I think because of that case, I kind of have to take Arizona here, who plays better on the road as it is. So give me Arizona.
I'm going to take the Rams because, Arizona, man, I want them to be good, but until they get Hollywood Brown back, it's not going to happen. Sure, the Rams had a disappointing loss, but this is probably their last true attempt to get a big W that matters. Backs against the wall. They have a complete defense.
But are their backs really against the wall? I consider Arizona's backs against the wall way more. Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, both of them are, but to the Cardinals, it doesn't matter.
Cliff Kingsbury is coaching for his job. LA.
I mean, both teams are. The Rams are 3-5. The Cardinals are 3-6. The Rams need to win this. They can't go to 3-6 and lose to a in division team.
Yeah, but I just think
must
LA,
win at home for the Rams. Easy.
LA
easy
is
pick.
this is the true. It's coming to fruition. You have no draft picks. Wouldn't that suck?
It's literally like Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins versus the Rams team.
He is. I mean, Nuke is so sick, dude. He kind of
He's sick, but it's going to be like the type of game where he has 150 yards, a touchdown.
I think this is LA going out with the whimper here. Towards this is kind of their we're done.
No, not yet. Chargers at the 49ers. Who's this? Me or you?
You.
Man, Justin Herbert and the Chargers are getting 7 points. And the real question,
dude. It's big line.
Real question today is 2 things. One, is Keenan Allen going to play? Because the Chargers have guys named Michael.
Stop me if you heard this before.
I know. The Chargers have guys like Michael Bandy running routes for them. And I mean, the 49ers are coming off the bye. I'm sure there's some great stats for Kyle Shanahan off the bye. It's not a question if the Niners are better. It's just what can the Chargers do? I'm going to pray Keenan Allen comes back, and I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're correct. I mean, you obviously are a believer in that team. Yeah, I've made it very clear for all my my followers that I hate the Chargers, and I think San Francisco's pretty freaking good. And the Chargers to kind of luck into that win last week. Maybe they come in a little weak in the knees. It's a short trip to San Francisco. They're probably feeling all right. San Francisco, though, coming off the bye, I think, give them the business.
All right, and talk us through Commanders at Eagles.
Man, 11 is a huge line. I loved Philly against Houston. Thought they were bad, that Philly would take care of business, and they did. But I think what we're seeing with Philly is that they love, and this isn't some hot take, it's been pretty apparent, is they love to get out in front in that first half, and then they kind of coast through the second half. They're okay with just keeping the ball between the 30s and punting or taking a field goal while the other team kind of gets more aggressive. So I'm going to go ahead and take Washington here, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the knee jerk of everyone who saw.
Anybody hear the Sex and the City music that is blaring from the TV that my wife is watching upstairs?
We can't hear it. But I think this is another feel one where it's everyone just saw, hey, the Commanders played the Vikings tough. Hey, Heineke's been playing good. Hey, the Eagles just played close to the Texans. And so I'm going to say, give me the Eagles minus 11. They're going to remind people why they're the second best team in the NFL. And that brings us here where we are on the same page for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games this week. And on a different page for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So going to be blood in the water. Whose card are you riding with? Bert or Liam?
Yeah, I think Liam's 20 games behind me. So maybe it starts getting chipped off here. We'll see. Or maybe it gets even worse.
Wow.
Wow, this guy. Love this guy.
And with that, we might have to cut it for.
Well, wait. I actually let's do a little talk before we just
Okay.
put this thing down. Let's I was wondering because we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and now, and I'm not putting this into the airwaves because I don't root for injury. Obviously, I love to see just good football in general. But let's say Josh Allen is injured. Who is going to end up being the MVP this year? Because Josh Allen is the obvious one. Who would be your second guy at the halfway point of this
It's
year?
not even a vote until the Eagles lose a game.
You think Hurts, huh?
Yeah, it's like so obvious.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's been a lot of push, but
the one problem is like he was such a hot pick amongst people in the offseason that so many people have like 100 to 1s, 120 to 1s, 60 to 1s. That like there's some big incentive for him not to win. And you can always say,
oh, like the sports writers are getting paid off.
No, I don't know. I mean, like how could it not be him? Who could you even pretend?
Micah Parsons. That's been my hot take.
That's silly.
I mean, they're going to do a defensive player at some point in our life, right?
Probably not. Why? Like, what are they? They're just going to pick a year and be like, this is the year.
Give me Birdie's up 20 games.
Deleted. Putting you in timeout.
Thank you, Preston.
That's not true, Preston.
I am up 20 games. You're
-9.
I'm plus 11.
Well, I'm getting 7 back. Starting this week, guys.
I'm getting. You're gonna win. You're not even gonna say I'm gonna go 4-3 in those. I'm going 7-0.
Yeah, I think I'm going 7-0. I think your picks are bad this week. Your time has come, and it's time for me. You don't see it that way? I mean, my most confident picks of the week, I would say, are Buffalo -5.5.
I mean, I think Vegas is so obvious, dude.
Giants -6.5.
I like Vegas.
And then probably
I feel like I've had Vegas as like one of my favorites like the past like how many ever weeks.
But I don't know how you bake in that a team has quit.
I think we're going to see some crazy stuff with Indy. I really think we will.
Well, yeah, they were like the dark horse to collapse. I mean, this is insane.
I think Vegas, Dallas, and can you go back? Vegas, Dallas, and I think Chicago, man, is a pretty
yeah. I mean, the only thing you got to dodge there is the Detroit running game.
But well, they've dropped 2 games in a row now, and they're gonna get one. Like they're playing well, they're just not winning. So, yeah.
I mean, a lot of things closed up this week, man. Because
did you see that? I will say that Liam shipping that $1 million, it does wonders for my water cooler talk at my job because it's a like today they're talking about
what would you do?
What would you do if you won the Powerball? And then I get to kind of like sit there and be like, well, my childhood best friend did win the lottery in some, and then I have to go
Nothing
into
close to the Powerball, man.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Honestly, I think the Powerball could be like maybe life ruining money. That's like that's
well, I guess we should talk like
what do
if
you do
got
with
that?
that?
If you just had that pumped in, I
What do
think
you
I
do
would
tomorrow? What you're just like, okay, I'm going to Italy. I'm buying a plane.
Well, I think I would buy a compound and probably move in my like.
First thing you do is probably hire a security team. Like now you got to roll 10 dudes.
I mean, there's just so much you can do for the rest of your like. That money just would never run out.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean,
I would start betting $1 million a unit.
You buy a compound and just like move in probably your like 15 closest friends and family.
I would stake a member of this channel every week, $1 million a game. They bring me their most confident bet, and if they win, we split. So you guys should root for me to win the Powerball. I didn't buy a ticket yesterday, but
yeah, any followers at this point, if we ever win the Powerball, if you're
all 5 of you that have wrote it out with us for the show,
yeah, guaranteed million if you have commented on this show up until this point. So we're not.
That's
we're not
1, 2,
giving
3.
it away.
Oh, a little charity back to me. All right, guys. That's it for this week. You know, if you have lost faith of my NFL picks and you want to fade me, I understand, but it's November. It's a different month. We're in a different groove here. And
you had the most NFL lines betting experience of your life where you like went up like plus 20 in like your first
my first 2 weeks were like plus 15 units.
And you've just I mean like as because Liam
some guy said on my channel, and I hope he was joking. He said, I lost $5,000 tailing your bets, which is like anyone that's been watching this channel, I've been like openly clear. We're not even betting these games.
Liam plays so much fantasy and knows like truly a lot more about the league than I do. I mean, I just go completely on vibes and have kind of.
Hey, it's a vibe league, man.
That's what I'm saying.
You're in the Matrix right now.
Like when you bet lines versus betting, you bet lines versus betting, what is this that you're doing?
Little Matrix.
When you bet lines versus betting, like fantasy football or whatever, you truly like kind of start to become a master of like, man, the uniforms that they're wearing. I really think that, and like that, you like more often, less or not, or more or less, like you'll eventually kind of hit on some of those. And I just happen to be hot right now. And
let's introduce the pick'em segment, Bert. Give us, we're gonna pick 5 parlay right now. What game do you want to see? What lines do you?
I don't know. The last time we did this, I had like 3 or 4 recommendations, and they all got unpicked by the end.
All right. Well, hey, we're giving you the lead here.
But I trust you on these. Okay. Let's. Your vibe plays are destroying it. Thank you, Preston. All right. Well, are these all Thursday night? Do we have to do all Thursday night?
No, we can do any NFL game. We can even get in the NBA streets or NHL or college basketball or college football.
That's not good. I don't even want to think about the NHL right now. The Bruins had a terrible week.
Wrong. Also, they don't offer lines on a player when we don't know if they're injured or not. All right, so you feel good about this game?
What's the Justin Fields rushing total? Do they have that?
Don't have that. There's also Rivals, which is like you can find some Justin Fields stuff, and you might have like Justin Fields rushing versus. Why do they only have that one game? Huh. Okay. They only have one game of Rivals right now, so.
I kind of like Cordero over.
Okay. Over what?
Over rushing. Or over rushing and receiving, actually, is probably the better one, 63.5.
He only got 1 target last week, or 1 reception. So the question, and he
Yeah,
And
but I mean, they're going to lean on it. I mean, it's Carolina, dude.
well,
I
and
mean,
like another guy played a lot. Tyler Algier played a lot. So like the question is, were they just easing him back and he's going to get more of the workload? If so, it's basically like if you think he's going to get more of the workload and the other guy's going to get eased off, Tyler Algier, then the higher is a good bet. If not, then the lower is a good bet, in my opinion. I don't feel great about this one. Let's try to find one that we both feel great about. So we'll
let's
put
do
that
that.
one on.
I agree.
That one's on the back burner for now. Let's keep going.
7.5 receiving yards. That's low too.
See, I feel almost better about that because that's like realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I mean, like, give it, like, take that. I mean,
that's I
he's
would
gonna
take
take. He's got to catch one pass out of the backfield for a
one
first
pass.
down.
One pass.
All
I
right.
like
We feel
trying
great
to.
about. We feel great about that.
I try to pick off like these like. I try to pick off two lines. One line is like
I love the low ones, like the DGN low ones, like greater than 0.5 rushing yards for.
yeah, that's a great one. And
Those
then
are like
also
the fun ones because like you're kind of just like looking at your phone and kind of like glancing up.
the other ones I try to pick off are lines like this with Tommy Tremble, where it's like obscure guy who is like has a line where if this was not the Thursday night football game,
He
they would
wouldn't have
not
a line, yeah.
he would not have a line. They only have that because he's a primetime player.
What's
So,
the go to the
I kind of
go
like
to
the
the
Greg Dulcich over where like he's just looked explosive. He's looked good. He's coming off the bye. He'll probably be used more.
go to the Brady Germany line?
Oh yeah,
Let's
let's
see what
find
the-
some of that.
Because I really I'm not. This is tinfoil hat. You've gone past it. This is tinfoil hat stuff, but like the NFL wants Brady to play well in an international game.
Well, I think there's two lines that make sense here. I would say the lower Fournette line, and if you're believing your belief, then the higher Brady passing yards.
But wait,
So,
go
like,
up, go up. There's more, isn't there? Oh, those are all Seattle.
I would say so. The reason, like, if you're saying Brady narrative, I mean, he's gone over that. And
You don't think? Do you not agree with that though? That the NFL is going to favor him?
I don't know. Maybe this dude's like sleep schedule is going to be fucked up by going to Germany. Like,
He's the biggest name in the NFL. They're going to take care of their guy.
well, what do you think about the Fournette lower? Because the thing about Fournette
Well, you
is,
said somebody else is taking over the primary.
well, they're saying
lower,
Rashad
right?
White's going to be the lead back, but like, is that like a 50-50, you know? Was he
Yeah, I, mean,
went,
I think if Brady throws for 200, if like those coincide,
he's
with
gone
each other,
under in the past three, this line.
those coincide with each other. If Brady is throwing for 275 yards,
It's hard to
Fournette is
rush.
Probably not rushing for 70 yards or 67.
Yeah, like the receiving maybe, but like the rushing.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So I like both those.
Okay. So let's get two more.
Let's
I
look at
kind of
the
like
Bills.
they're not hanging the Bills right now because of the uncertainty in the Josh Allen arm.
Oh. Let's go look at the Raiders Colts game.
Okay. They're hanging no Colts players because of the uncertainty.
Do they have any Micah Parsons lines?
No defense lines. Only offensive.
There's never any defensive lines, like one sack or something like that.
I don't think so. Let's look for some lowers in this.
Okay, well let's look at Devontae Adams because he's probably.
What do you think about the lower for the Aaron Rodgers? It's like such a low line, but it's also
235 is too low, man.
I know, but I feel like he's going to go under.
I feel like Devontae Adams still has great games in this like terrible losing streak. I kind of like him higher, 94.5.
That's such a high number. Like Travis Kelce's only 73.5.
But like they are not. If you don't,
Why don't we take Travis Kelce instead of him? Like, look at Travis Kelce.
My point is that if you don't scheme, like they are going to be playing Jeff Saturday schemes.
Let's try to pick some unders. I want to finish this card with two unders.
Okay.
Jared Goff.
I mean, Jared Goff under 250. I was about to say that, so kind of same. Go to the Kenny Pickett under.
Off the bye, he might be better. total yards.
Oh, that's way too low. Yeah.
15.5 for Deontay. He's been brutal, man.
Yeah.
But now that Claypool's out of there, like it's
Yeah, but
uncertain.
I think that Pickett likes Pickens more, doesn't he?
What about this Nick Chubb rushing? Over.
Higher, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right. Is this our card?
Well, what's the Tyreek? 94. I mean, we literally said on the show that we expect them to go for 400 yards combined. Maybe we should just take both those receivers.
If so, we can do the parlay. Tua over, Tyreek over, Waddle over.
I mean, I don't hate that, dude.
I've had a lot of success with just picking the quarterback.
Let's just say, okay, take Goff and Chubb, or take
let's
Goff.
take Chubb away.
Take Cordero away.
You want Cordero?
I mean,
away
Cordero 7.5. Like, do we really? I don't know.
Take Fournette away or Brady or Goff?
I think Fournette, because we just don't know what he is 100%, and then we just go to a Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. I kind of love this, dude.
Well, this is what I've done a lot with Josh Allen and like Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs, and it's hit a lot. It's like, but it's like
Tua's kind of come on as
it's like these three plus one. Are you still on here? Hello? Are you guys hearing me? Can you hear me? All right, gotta end the broadcast for now.